My coverage of CES 2018 from Las Vegas, Nevada is brought to you by Cooler Master, Enermax, OCZ Toshiba, and Deepcool.
Alright guys, I'm over here with Toshiba, and I'm going to check out some OCZ products, some new storage products that they have here. We're at the Westgate in a suite. I don't know why I've been keen on pointing out to you guys where I am every time, but anyway, point being, there's a really tiny NVMe SSD, and there's an external SSD that you can use for really fast external storage with USB Type-C 3.1 Gen 2. So starting off here with this really tiny NVMe SSD, and if you guys remember last year, actually, I came over here to check out the Toshiba stuff, and they showed me this little guy. Teeny tiny little SSD. So basically you have the SSD, the actual NAND flash storage itself, and a controller on this teeny tiny little chip. Well, they've actually taken that and implemented it into a product. So that is what we're looking at here, the RC100 series. This is going to be available in 120, 240, and 480 gig capacities, at least at launch. They're looking about Q2 when it comes to launch, so maybe April, May time frame. And as far as pricing goes, I don't want to talk about pricing right now because NAND has been very expensive, memory has been very expensive, prices have been very high. So the prices I might say for this right now are probably going to be more than what hopefully it will be in the future, because we're really hoping that the prices start to come down. As far as the 240 gig model that they have here, they're talking about a sub $200 price point, so I guess we can leave it at that. Beyond that though, you have a teeny tiny SSD, as apparently on the Toshiba social media, they tweeted a picture and somebody said, "What is this, an SSD for ants?" Anyway, that's my best attempt at a Zoolander impersonation. But of course you get the benefits of NVMe, which is more power efficient, and then of course you get potential NVMe SSD speeds. Now, NVMe SSDs can be very, very fast, but they can also be very, very expensive, so this one's going to sort of hit that sweet spot between being expensive and being fast. So we're looking at about 1600 megabytes per second reads, and we're looking at about 1100 megabytes per second writes, which is definitely significantly faster than your typical SATA drive, about 3 times faster, at least when it comes to the reads, so that's really nice. If you're going to load up an operating system on this, if you're going to load up a bunch of games, they're going to load really fast, and you're going to have a good time. So it being very small, of course, it's going to be able to fit into very small devices. It is actually a 2242, so 22 millimeters wide and 42 millimeters long. You might be more familiar with like 2280 is your typical NVMe SSD that we get these days. So quick comparison, here's their RD400, which I've used a lot in this past year. Really solid NVMe SSD. This one's still out, and it's going to be faster than that one, but it's also a little bit more expensive. But that's 2280, that's 2242, and this is the RC100, and it's very small and cute. Oh yeah, also really small form factor PCs like an Intel NUC, or like the little mini PCs that I showed you guys over at the Zotac booth. If you didn't watch the Zotac video, check that out. It should be up on my CES 2018 playlist. Let's move over to the next product here. This is the XS700. We're keeping it simple over here at the Toshiba suite, and we just have 2 products to show you. This is an external SATA SSD. So basically you have effectively a SATA SSD in there. It's going to connect, of course, by USB Type-C. It's USB 3.1 Gen 2, which provides plenty of bandwidth. You are going to get SATA speeds on this drive, though. You're going to get about 530 megabytes per second reads, and you're going to get about 480 megabytes per second writes. Very nice read and write speeds if you're comparing this to other external devices, you know, like your typical USB thumb drive or that kind of thing. So if you want to use this to, say, video edit on the go, or if you need, let's say you go to lots of LAN parties and you want to take your entire Steam library and transfer it really quickly to your friends so they don't have to download the games, that kind of thing. This is going to be a great solution for that. I've actually been using external 2.5-inch SSDs like the TR200. You guys have seen this on my channel. I've used it in a few builds recently. I use these with just a little SATA external adapter, which is effective, but also not necessarily the most durable. These SATA plugs can be well, you can snap them off if you tweak them at the wrong angle. So having something that's completely contained like this, it's got the USB-C connector. They're also going to include a Type A adapter for it, so you can plug it into legacy USB ports. And that is the XS700 from Toshiba. Now this one's only going to be available in the 240 gig capacity right at launch, but based on popularity and feedback from fans like you, they might bring it in a higher capacity as well. Maybe 480. Maybe we will even see a 1 terabyte version in the future. I just made that up. They might do that, they might not. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for my quick coverage here at the Toshiba suite here at the Westgate. And of course, Toshiba is a sponsor for this year's coverage of CES 2018. So a huge thank you to them, as well as my other sponsors, Cooler Master, NVMe, as well as Deepcool. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel or check out the CES 2018 playlist for more coverage. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.